Well, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson. Very excited to connect with you again today for another episode of the Nurse Entrepreneur Spotlight. And today we have a wonderful special guest that we're going to feature. Her name is Melissa Schreibfeder. And Melissa works in the world of functional medicine. So, Melissa, I want to say thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you sharing some time.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you, Teresa. Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. Now, for those of you who may not know Melissa yet, she is a registered nurse. She is also a functional medicine practitioner, an approved nursing continuing education provider, and a board certified nurse coach. I love those credentials. I mean, this is so holistic, everything I'm hearing. So Melissa owns and operates a company called Integrative Nurse Coaching, and that is a functional medicine practice in Nashville, Tennessee. And she is the founder of the Functional Nurse Academy, which is an educational program for nurses designed to provide them with training in the field of functional medicine and business formation, with the mission to help nurses break away from the conventional sick care model and thrive in a parallel healthcare system that focuses on true health and wellness. Oh my gosh, I love all of that, Melissa. So thank you again for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me. So excited to talk functional medicine and business with you.
Oh, you betcha. You betcha. So tell us a little bit, I have to say, like I mentioned, I love everything that you're doing that is so holistic. And quite honestly, I'd been a nurse 25 years before I realized all I had ever done was help people manage disease. I had never done anything to promote or support their wellness. It was just, you've got this illness, here's this medicine. So kudos to you for raising awareness in the community with lay people and also among the nursing community. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's so needed right now. And again, like so many nurses, I mean, we haven't been happy for years, but it just keeps getting worse. And we became nurses because we wanted to help people. And
Yeah.
it's amazing being on the holistic side of things and actually seeing your clientele get well.
Oh, I just love that. I love that. So tell us a little bit, before you found functional medicine and all of this kind of thing, how did you get your start in nursing, and what kind of work did you do as you started out as a nurse and that kind of thing?
Well, I went into nursing because I am a people person. I love people, and I just have that, kind of nurturing stance about myself. I'm kind of like a caretaker type, as much many nurses are, and so that's what drew me to the field. And then I have a background as an educator, so I was an educator before I went into nursing. I've been a nurse for over 10 years now. Did a variety of, pediatric, geriatric, psychiatric, went into leadership roles. And then I was actually a university nursing educator. So it became very natural for me when I got into nurse entrepreneurship to go right back to educating nurses, because it's one of my other passions.
I love that. I love that. And so nursing, not your first career, came into this after working in education, it sounds like, and then went back to education as a nurse. Love that. Love that. And so what drew you? Here you are, you're working as a nurse and a nurse educator. What drew you to the world of entrepreneurship?
Well, I got burned very badly by our conventional medical system. So I was one of those very, very trusting nurses in the field. And I had been struggling with mystery health issues for many years. I went through just the classic medical gaslighting. Your labs are fine. Nothing's wrong with you. Here, take some anxiety pills. That might help.
Oh
So
my.
through all of that, felt like I wasn't being listened to, was being bounced around to all these specialists. And then I was going to them for years saying something is wrong. I don't feel good. And then finally my body crashed. I ended up getting diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, full-blown hypothyroidism, and
Oh
then
my
later
God.
on chronic Lyme disease and chronic inflammatory response syndrome. And just this system had
Wow.
nothing to offer me but drugs. And I had this strong intuitive feeling that I believe is from God. And God was like, no, do not take those drugs. And I decided to start, to quit listening to them and start doing my own research. And that's how I was
Yeah.
drawn. Excuse me. That's how I was drawn to functional medicine. And I actually ended up doing things through my own research and taking my health into my own hands that
Mhm.
I was told was impossible. Like I reduced my autoimmune antibodies by 90% and eliminated the vast majority of my symptoms.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, it's so amazing. So it's just something, I love it so much. I can't quit talking about it. I want to share the word with everyone. So having like a tremendous healing experience. I
Yeah.
then decided, I actually, this was another God thing because this happened in 2020, 1 month before COVID. I
Okay.
launched my private functional medicine practice,
Okay.
which is integrative nurse coaching. It took off because if you help somebody get well, then they can't quit talking about you and they're going to send all their friends to you. So I got really
Yeah.
busy with practice, and so busy that I really didn't even need my, nursing instructor
Wow.
job anymore. And
Yeah.
I was still hearing from nurses all the time because so many nurses were out of work for various
Right.
reasons. So
Mhm.
I decided, I was like, nurses aren't happy. There's this massive demand for functional medicine and nurses in functional medicine because we are
Yeah.
like the most trusted profession. So
Mhm.
I then put together all of like, not only just like my knowledge and my clinical skill set into curriculum, but I also put together all of my resources and materials that
Okay.
helped me to become successful into Functional Nurse Academy. That way I can get other nurses trained, get them out of the system, and then together we can transform healthcare from within.
Oh my gosh. Boom. So many mic drop moments in that. And I just love, though, the concept that by taking your own health into your own hands, it's really what led you to do what I call peeling the onion of modern healthcare, right? Isn't it? It really is like an onion. And in my own personal journey toward natural wellness that started in about 2015, it's just been little by little, getting rid of harsh chemicals and different things that were in my home that I had no idea were hurting me, thinking about the makeup on my skin, just all the different things, right? And then learning about diet and nutrition. And I really believe that everybody gets there, but they have to get there in their own time, don't they? It's really hard to talk about something that is so polar opposite of traditional Western medicine. But I absolutely love and embrace what you're doing, because to be able to reduce your own symptoms, in those loads by 90%, holy smokes.
Well, and autoimmune is something I'm so passionate about because the autoimmune rates in our country are skyrocketing. And we know that when we learn a new concept in the medical literature, there
Mhm.
is on average a 17-year lag from when we learn a new concept, such as
Yeah.
we can get autoimmune conditions under control, to that information actually being in the doctor's hand. So if you're using your insurance and seeing a conventional doc, these individuals that are suffering with autoimmune conditions, they're being told there's nothing they can do.
Mhm.
Diet doesn't matter. It's a wait and see approach. Like basically,
Right.
we're gonna wait until your immune system destroys your thyroid gland and then put you on medication lifelong, or we're gonna wait until this gets really bad and then
Right.
we're gonna put you on immunosuppressant medications, which can lead to cancer. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people, I feel like a lot of the patient population, um, they're not being properly informed
Mhm.
because the physicians in the conventional medical model are not properly informed. And then we also do understand that big industry does influence conventional medicine.
Oh
And
my gosh, yes.
Yeah, there's no money, and there's not a lot of money in getting people well when they don't need pharmaceuticals. But the way that I look at this as a nurse and as an entrepreneur, I get you well, and then you go tell all your friends and your family, and then they come to me, and then I get more clients. But and there's no shortage of
Right.
people that are suffering with chronic illness.
Yeah.
And these do tend to be direct pay models. But when you look at the big picture, you may need to pay directly up front to get proper medical care, proper testing, and
Mhm.
actually work resolving underlying root causes. If you keep on with the conventional system, we see time and time again, more medications lead to more sickness and more hospital bills and early mortality and early disability.
Oh my gosh, so much wisdom in all of that. And I think it's just so important for everybody to really listen and reflect because, Melissa, not only do you have an opportunity for the community to be healed, you have an opportunity for nurses to be a part of that movement, and help the public improve their health and wellness. And I think, again, going back to my own experience in moving toward natural and holistic medicine and modalities, it was really hard for me to reconcile the idea that when I walked down the cleaning aisle at my local store to grab things that I need to clean my home, I'm bringing home respiratory irritants. I'm bringing home nothing but harsh chemicals that are hurting the family that I'm trying to care for. But as an unwitting consumer, I didn't realize all of that. So it's all intertwined. When you think of the economy, it's a really sad thing, but somebody's doing better when we are sick. Healthcare is 35% of our economy, and we cannot deny that. All right. Well, my apologies for the dogs barking. So Melissa, I want to just move on to the next question here. Can you tell us, working as a nurse entrepreneur is very different than working in a clinic, than working in a hospital. What are some of the things that you enjoy most about working for yourself?
Oh, goodness. Can I say everything? Well, first of all, I am a mom I have a 6-year-old little boy, and I'm expecting a baby girl.
Oh,
And yeah. And I
love it.
remember after I had my son, things were different. I was like, I cannot be out of the house for 12 hours. I cannot miss your school events and your soccer games.
Yeah.
And also, I tend to be, kind of on the high achiever and a little type A. And I felt like in the hospital system, when you're working really hard, you just get taken advantage of. You get run all over. And now I know that, like, if I put my strong work ethic into my business, I'm going to see the return on that. And also, I live in the great state of Tennessee,
Love it.
which does not pay nurses very well. So I am able
Oh,
to generate significantly more income than if I was even working full time in an administrative position. And I
mm,
don't even work full time hours right now. So, I mean, the flexibility, being able to be in my home, to
mhm.
like be an involved mom, and then be able to practice how I want to practice.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And being able to speak, there are certain truths when you enter the natural wellness space that, we really probably it's frowned upon for us to say those in a traditional medical setting. So I
Mhm.
love that. Yeah, in this practice, you have that opportunity, you have the autonomy to do that. So I think that's fantastic. Yeah, you.
Yeah, well, and I think so much in the hospital system. I mean, you're so overworked, you're sleep deprived, you're stressed out. It is not a healthy environment.
Right.
It's not good for your health. And again, in the hospital, we tend to get into these situations where there's so much group think, and everybody is like so just tuned in to policy and procedures, and then we
Mhm.
need to kind of step back and think, okay, is what we're doing actually making sense and really
Right.
serving this patient population? Should we
Yep.
really be giving somebody that's just had a heart attack a piece of chocolate cake and a Coke?
Right.
I mean, that's just an example of, so there's so many things that we do in that
Yep.
system that makes zero sense. So
Yep.
being that I can have my own practice now, I'm not overworked anymore.
Mm,
I'm in charge of how many clients that I see in a day, so I can make
love
sure that
it.
I'm not getting burnt out. And then
Mhm.
when we are practicing, especially functional medicine and healthcare, we are always learning because our bodies are brilliantly and magnificently designed. And there
Amen.
is new information coming out every single day about ways that we can holistically heal the body. So that's something
Mhm.
else I can um, kind of, me being a nerd and loving to read these like scientific studies and having all these textbooks, I can
Yep.
do that like additional education, incorporate it into practice with my clients, and then teach my nurses this valuable information that they can use.
Oh my gosh, I love all of that. It just sounds, everything I'm hearing just screams empowerment. Just screams empowerment that you have been fully empowered finally to step into this place that is just so, it's good for you. It's good for you and it's good for the people you serve. So kudos, kudos. Now, one of the things that I know you've done recently, Melissa, because we worked together on this, is become a nursing continuing education provider. So I'm so excited about that. And I just would love if you would share a little bit with our audience about how you intend to use your CE provider program in your business. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. So I love teaching so much. I love seeing my clients, but I am now planning. I'm still seeing clients in my private practice.
Sure.
I really want to just scale out the Functional Nurse Academy because the demand is there to get nurses trained. And again, with nurses, we like to get our continuing education hours. So this has been like so valuable to have this status. And thank you so much, Teresa. But when I was um, basically using your service allowed me to actually spend time to get all of my curriculum together and get my platform up. So
So
I
smart.
do plan to really make Functional Nurse Academy my priority and add additional content and further expand the program. I also plan to put together a directory of Functional Nurse Academy graduates. That way, when my graduates launch their
Mhm.
practices, that can serve as a referral source because people are sick and they're
Yeah.
interested in working with nurses that really care and have like holistic methods and
Yeah.
can see them in the outpatient basis.
Oh my gosh, I just love that. So much value, and I just have to say, I love that you have already put it in drive. I think it's so important because getting the application done, now is about an 8-week process just for us to get it
Mhm.
done. And then it goes to the board for review. Right. And so it does take some time, but I love, love, love it when my clients are going, okay, I'm going to get ready for the next step. As soon as I get that approval, I am going to put this thing in drive and boom, here I go, and so this has been a great example to see you do that.
Well, and also like having that accreditation, gives your program so much more value. And by having you help me with that, it
Love it.
actually helps me generate more revenue. So it basically, it was amazing because it's like that was a service that like paid for itself. So it was worth every penny.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, I just love hearing that. And so, for those of you who are watching, what Melissa's referring to is I have this totally done for you CE provider application service, and that's what she took advantage of. And it's the kind of thing most nurse entrepreneurs are already very busy. And there's not enough hours in the day typically to run the business. And then when you want to add CE, well, yeah, you can do it, but that's going to be another investment of time and energy. Or you can click the easy button and hire somebody like me to do it and get that done while you're doing all the other things, which is what you chose to do. So I love, love, love hearing your experience. And I love hearing that this has already been an income generator, an income producer for you. Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. No, I think it's a genius idea because that like creating functional medicine courses, that is interesting to me. Submitting that application, just oh goodness, if I did it myself, I would still be working on it.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm just blessed to be a part of your journey. That was so much fun. Now, going back to entrepreneurship, I want to ask you, Melissa, because you and I both know, and it sounds like you work with a lot of these nurses every day, the nurses who are working in traditional nursing, who are tired, who are on the edge of burnout, who are maybe experiencing chronic illnesses themselves because of stress and all the burdens they're under. And they're thinking, I wish there was something more. I wish there was something I could do that would really align with my values and allow me to be present for my family when I'm home. And, all of those things. What would you say to that nurse who's thinking about starting a business but doesn't know how? What advice would you give?
Yeah. So I would say, if you are not fulfilled in your nursing practice, if you're going to work every day and you're unhappy, it is not worth it. No paycheck is worth it for your soul to be unhappy. And again, as nurses, so many of us are just used to being hospital employees. You do not need to be a hospital employee. There are so many opportunities for nurses out just in the field of entrepreneurship. And again, like the skills, the expertise, all of the clinical experience that nurses have it's so incredibly valuable. And you can use your experience as a nurse to really serve a population very well. So I would start, kind of brainstorming. What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about, functional medicine, consulting, advocacy? Because there's a need for us in many different areas, and kind of narrow down what is going to interest you the most, and then start kind of making a list from there of some action steps to be able to obtain those goals. But it absolutely, and I will say, most of us, and that's why I like to incorporate the business training in my course, because when I set up my own LLC, I got that set up in a couple of days, and it seems tedious, like all these different steps you've got to take, to get a practice up and going. But as long as you're organized, it's really not that bad. And
Right.
the payoff, I mean, when we talk professionally, this is the best thing I have ever done. I am so grateful I went through with it, but I had this lingering feeling. I was like, I knew I wanted to do this, and it just really took making those action steps.
I love that. And so what I'm hearing is really it's just get started. And the major message there, the very first thing was, don't settle for being unhappy. Don't settle, and it's true. Life is short and we only get one shot at it.
Yes.
Come our end day, what do you want to remember? What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to remember? And I think it's just so important. We have to think about that every day that we're living. And one of the concepts that came to me very early in my career, Melissa, as a nursing leader was, and I'm glad it came early, but it was the idea that I recognized as a nursing leader, I'm still working for someone else's organization, number one. And as hard as I work, as much as I want to do, if I fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, that business would continue making money. So I think that's really important too. And I feel like, as nurses, we are very loyal. We are big nurturers, but we have to recognize the organization may not reciprocate that loyalty. And I think we're seeing that in the levels of burnout and everything that's going on with nursing today.
Yeah. And also just having the work that you do being purposeful. And I talk to so many nurses, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm so dedicated to like, I want to help you get out of there, because I also feel like this system, it needs to change. It's not going to change unless we force it to change. So if we
Yeah.
get enough nurses that are able to operate successfully outside of that system and serve the patient population, they're going to have to change, because they need nurses to make money. So they're going to have to make it a better environment. But, there's so many nurses, like, you want to heal and help, but then you're stuck at this job every day where you're stuck
Mhm.
behind a computer charting, and then you're passing meds all day, which, can, many times it's like making
Yep.
the underlying problem worse. So you're in this system, but you're not like, your work is not purposeful, and that's what
Right.
it's so fulfilling for me now, because like, my job is also like my passion. It's how I serve God. It's my purpose in life. It's,
Mhm.
so it's just like, it will bring
Yeah.
you so much joy, like, when you are really kind of being fulfilled in those areas.
I love that. So much wisdom in all of that. So Melissa, what I'd like to do now is give you the next few minutes to just share with our group. We're coming to the end of our interview here, and it's been wonderful, so eye-opening in so many ways. But I want to give you the next few minutes to talk to our audience about any special offers that you may have going on right now, how they can connect with you if they want to learn more about functional medicine, all of those things. It's your time to shine. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that. So, well, I am really, really excited about this. So, I actually just launched last night a self-paced version of the Functional Nurse Academy. So, and that is on my website. It's functionalnurseacademy.com. I actually am running an offer right now. The price is $2,300, but it is on sale for $1,975 through the month of August. And now with this program, you will get 60 continuing education hours. What makes this program so unique is, like, I'm not just teaching you guys about functional medicine. I'm teaching you about how to apply it to get good client outcomes. And then I have a whole business section where I teach you guys about the business formation, how to generate a six-figure income with your pricing and packages. And then really all of the things that I used that made me successful, like the wellness plans, the letters I write to physicians when I'm advocating for my clients, my resources, material, education. I've bundled that all together for a practitioner toolkit. It is the only practitioner toolkit on the market for nurses and functional medicine. And again, like, I know that so many nurses, they're like, I need to leave this allopathic model. So then they're like, well, I've got to get trained, and then I've got to do the business. So I wanted to
Yeah.
make this as easy for you guys as possible. You take the course, you get the toolkit, you're automatically going to have, your forms, your client handouts, your dietary guides. You're going to have a plan to package and price your programs. And then also another thing I'm really excited about, I also didn't want to just train nurses and then be like, okay, bye, because I feel like we're always learning. You're still going to need guidance. So this is only for graduates of Functional Nurse Academy, but I also have a bridge program. It's just $50 a month. So basically, like, when you graduate the program, you're able to join my monthly mentorship, which is just Functional Nurse Academy graduates. So you're able to be part of the community, and we meet one session per month where I alternate between doing, like, case studies of real clients I've worked with and deep dive topics. And then you have opportunity to interact with me and ask questions. And I did decide with my self-guided program to offer 2 free months of that monthly mentorship because I think it's so valuable, and I want people to, like, try it out first. But it's a really great way to get the training, and then and then have continuous mentorship with me and community with other functional nurses.
I love that. Oh my gosh, so much goodness in this offer. And I want to thank you for sharing that with our audience and community. I know there are always nurses who are looking for options. And so, Melissa, I want to thank you again for just sharing with us what functional medicine is, the impact it's had on your own life and health, as well as how you make a difference in the world with functional medicine. So thank you again for being our guest today. It's been a pleasure to have you. All
Yes,
right.
thank you so much for having me. It's always so great to chat with you.
All right. And for our audience, I want to thank you for tuning in. This concludes today's episode, and we'll see you next time on the Nurse Entrepreneur Spotlight. Bye for now.